to start working on my budget and meal plan for the next $25 shopping haul, and I thought I would go live. So if anybody is joining me, you can help me with some suggestions and we can kind of work on things together, and you can kind of see the process behind me planning a budget that is pretty strict. So I have my food journal. This is what I use for all my meal planning. It's in the description if you want to take a look. It's available on Amazon for less than $10, and it should last a year. It's got 52 weeks of meal planning space here with a grocery list and a daily spot to put the meals, plus a section for notes in the back, which is where I'm going to be writing some of my brainstorming here. And it also has inventory sheets in the front to help me remember what I have at the bottom of the freezer. So I try to do inventory every 1 or 2 weeks, just depending on what I have on hand. If I have a lot on hand, I try to do inventory a little bit more often, just so I can make sure I don't forget things. So I also wrote a couple notes in a notebook because I had like a lot of things going on. So last time with my $25 budget, I used things like potatoes and lentils and of course veggies and just things like that, not a whole lot of meat. So this time I want to do things a little bit differently and try to mix things up. So I'm trying not to use lentils this time. I want to make sure that my next menu is completely different and has other options for people that say can't have lentils or just don't like those particular recipes that I used last time. So I have a couple of lists here that I've made. What I do is I go on to my cheapest local store, which is Aldi for me, or it could be Walmart for you. And I try to look at the prices on certain things that I know I want to get. So for instance, beans. So I search beans and then I do the filter and I do sort, and I sort to lowest to highest expense. So I can see what exactly is the cheapest kind of beans that I can buy. And then I write that down on a list of foods I may want to use with the price at the store that I'm going to be shopping at. So I'm going to do that for I'll write down meat and the cheapest meats. So what I'm looking at right now is maybe some leg thighs, like leg quarters. Those are $1.09 a pound at Aldi. So I may add that in, just get like $4 or $5 worth of chicken that way. And that way I can sort of make the chicken in advance, shred it, and then have it ready for the meals. And I'm using the meat as more of a garnish, not as the main dish. That's how I stay under budget a lot, is people will get like a whole steak and just have that be their main thing with a tiny bit of veggies. For me, I want to focus more on the beans, the veggies, and the main things in the dish, and then just have the meat be like a small additional portion, 3 or 4 ounces per entree, not per person. So that is one way that I really tighten up the budget. So we're still getting a little bit of ground beef or ground turkey, a little bit of chicken, whatever it is, a little bit of bacon even, and it's not going to be so expensive. So that's one huge way that I reduce our budget, because people have probably, if you've been following me a while, you know that I've reduced my budget to $50 a week now normally. And how I do that is I bulk buy the meats and then separate them into smaller portions, a pound or less than a pound per portion, and then freeze it. Really? My son is over here playing on his tablet. So that's one thing that I do. So this month, I think I've spent $50 or $60. Remember, I'm doing a video. I got to talk to them about the budget. You want to say hi real quick? Mm-hmm. Say hi.
Hi.
Good job. Oh, show them the tablet. Go sit down and play on there and show them what you're doing. Finish up. Okay, because we got to go to class soon. We're going to go to a Mommy and Me class soon. Hey, we can't touch the camera though, okay? I got to tell them about the budget so they can know. Sit down. Are you all done? Do you want another snack? Oh boy, pushing it. Because we're going to Mommy and Me class, huh? Are you excited? Yeah, okay. Play on this, okay, because it's almost time to go. Okay, where was I? Okay, so I just freeze those into smaller portions, and that way I have them ready to go. I spent like $60 this month on meat. I got ground turkey, ground beef. I got a whole chicken. I got chicken breasts, and just a variety of meats, and they're in my deep freezer, or actually I have them now here in my little freezer. So those are ready to go for the month. And I didn't like break the bank, you know, and I adjust my weekly budget based on what I spend on meats in bulk. And I don't always go to a bulk store. Actually, I don't find that the prices at the Costco's and Sam's Clubs are cheaper. I usually find that if I like look at the ads every single week, I can find the store that has the cheapest meat, and then I'll just take a special trip just for that thing at that store. So Vons had $1.77 a pound for chicken breasts, so I made a special trip. And oh, Alexa, stop.
This is a reminder.
Alexa, stop.
All sensibilities.
Thank you. Sorry if I'm talking to your Alexas. Alexa, stop. I'm good. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay, let's put something else on. Are you done with this?
No.
No, let's do a different game. Oh, you have a donut?
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. Okay, come here. Let's sit down. I'll be right back. It's for work. Sit down. You want that? We'll do a song after, okay? Okay? Are you hearing me? No. Are you hearing me? No. Okay, you want to do a song after? You want to do off? You want me to put a show on? No? Okay, come in here. Come in here, please. Come in here, please. Remember about listening ears, honey. Remember about listening ears for school, honey. Come here. Look what I have for you. Look. Come here. Grayson, look what I have for you. Come here. Good job. I am so sorry. I lost two of you. Sorry about that. I am back. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me see. I had to set my son up. I don't know where to find the comments in here, so I'll have to look at it later. I had to set my son up over there with a show out of earshot because I don't want, you know, like copyright issues on the video. So he's gonna watch a little show while I finish up here. So what I'm looking at now is I want to kind of share with you my list for what I've written down and what my thought process is here on menus that I've got, you know, working for the next couple of budget-friendly videos that I'm going to be doing here. So this first list, so I sort of wrote down some breakfast and dinner ideas. For lunch, I have been sort of just doing leftovers. So making a big enough dinner to have leftovers and not worrying too much about lunch, just because if we can cover breakfast and dinners, usually we can just kind of figure out lunch on the fly. And I think most people can probably figure that out. You either do like a snacky lunch, pick something up off the dollar menu while you're, you know, out and about, or do leftovers. So that's kind of my thought process there. But I would like to do maybe a $30, you know, menu that has breakfast, lunch, and dinner down the line. So I'll see if I can work that out and see what kind of budget I want to do with that. But this first list I have, I think I'm going to be doing tortillas, maybe pinto beans and rice, because I didn't do that last time. Tomato, cheese, black beans, tomato sauce, corn, maybe some pasta. Maybe work in some hot dogs. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm gonna try to do a treat meal every week that is like give mom or dad, whoever's cooking, a break and just do sort of an easy meal, kind of like I did last time with box mac and cheese with some meat. So this time I might work in something with hot dogs. So it might not be for everybody, but this is to kind of expand the options for people so they can kind of think outside the box. And then onion, of course, some mixed vegetables, maybe do some lentils on this next one, and diced tomatoes. So that's my list for that. And I have a whole list of dinners and some breakfasts that I can do. And that one I think is gonna be more dinner heavy. So that one's gonna be a lot more dinner options. And for the next list, I'm gonna have an additional breakfast option, more than I had last time. So I'll have 3 instead of 2. And then the dinner options, 1, 2, 3, still 5 dinner options. So with this next list will be about $30. So I can add an additional breakfast and still do 5 dinners. So I'm gonna play around with the budget. Sometimes it'll be 25, sometimes it'll be 30, but I think both of those are, pretty close, so it doesn't make a huge difference. So last time, I think I spent $22. Thank you, Linda. Last time I spent $22 and still made 2 breakfast ideas that lasted the entire week because I was able to freeze things, and it's just 2 adults and 2 children here, so that makes a difference. And then I also had the 5 dinner options. So that's how that worked out. So maybe $25 or $30 might, let me stretch things a bit more. I could have added cheese or maybe more beans, last time more veggies. So this next list, it's potatoes, eggs, cheese, black beans, chili beans, tomato, a baguette, tomato sauce, mixed vegetables, some hummus, garbanzo beans, avocado, cucumber, quinoa, canned chicken, diced tomatoes, corn, onion, lime, and spinach. So that one you can kind of tell it's going to be completely different. We're not going to be focusing on, bean heavy or lentil heavy options there. I'm going to do something fun with the baguette. I'm thinking of doing maybe some individual pizzas, like French bread pizzas for the treat meal, and maybe a quinoa salad or some bowls that I can put together, because I love doing fresh bowls like with quinoa, cucumber, avocado, make like a hummus dressing. I have some really awesome recipes. I got to work out the kinks and just see what exactly I want to use here and there, because last time, believe it or not, I actually tested out the recipes in advance before I actually went ahead and put the video together, and I made some mistakes where I was like, whoa, that recipe did not work out, and I had to go replenish, a couple of the ingredients and start over again. So keep that in mind. I did test these recipes out a couple of times, and I try to give you the best version that I can make. So those are the 2 lists that I for sure have locked down, probably $30 and under. And the next thing, I want to try to incorporate yogurt into one of my lists, in dinners, in lunches, and breakfasts, because yogurt is so good. It has so much, protein. It's great for breakfast. Like I made an overnight oats with oats and yogurt and milk and chia seeds and honey. The thing about that is chia seeds are not budget friendly. Honey can be more expensive. So I want to work out something where if I'm going to be getting honey, I'll get a smaller one and maybe work that into some dressings I can make. So that's kind of how I think, is every single ingredient I buy on the budget should really be something I can split up into almost everything. With Greek yogurt, I usually substitute Greek yogurt instead of sour cream in a lot of things. I use it to make ranch. So I just do like milk, Greek yogurt, a little bit of mayo, and some seasonings to make ranch. So if I can make ranch, I can also use that in, let's say, chicken wraps. I can make salad with that. I can use it maybe as like some sort of sauce and something. I know that sounds weird, but it has a lot of flavor. And when you think about how it's just Greek yogurt and mayo, adding that as sort of a sauce and maybe like a pasta or as a marinade, that could work. Or you can also have, yogurt for breakfast, obviously. And just yogurt is good for making other types of sauces and dressings too. So for like a bowl, like I was talking about, we could make like a yogurt dressing to put on the bowl. So that's kind of where my head goes when I'm creating these budget-friendly meal plans. And when you see me shop for like less than $50 a week, that's what I do. Everything that I buy, I try to think about it in the long run. Like, okay, how can I use this for the month? So if I buy yogurt, 1 week for $4, I'm not buying yogurt for the week. I'm buying, the big container, and I'm gonna let that stretch all month long. I'm gonna use it in place of sour cream. So I'll put that on top of my chili, my baked potato. I'll make sauces with it. I'll eat it for breakfast with granola. So all kinds of different ways that I use it. So that's kind of where my thinking goes with that. And that's how I usually end up keeping the budget really low. So I'm not an extreme couponer. I don't coupon a lot. All I do is check the ads. I'll make sure that I'm shopping only the sales. If it's on sale, then it goes on my list if I can use it. And I mean really good sales, not like those buy 3, get whatever. That's usually not like a great those are usually just a way to get you to like buy more. I usually try to look for meat prices that are less than $2 a pound so I can bulk buy. I look for any of the vegetables that are on sale or the fruit that's on sale. That's what we'll buy. And the kids even know that if we go to the store and they're like, I want strawberries, we'll go and look. And if they're $4 a pound, I'm like, okay, well, they're not on sale. So let's put it on the list for maybe next week and let's look at what's on sale. So the whole household is on board with shopping for only the sale items, and that includes snacks too. Aldi is great though because they have even organic snacks for like $2 for a bag of like cheesy puffs that are organic. So I highly recommend checking out Aldi if you have it. They also have all their food doesn't have dyes in it. I'm not affiliated, by the way. I just love them. I think they're awesome. So there's no food dyes in any of their snacks or treats or anything. So that's awesome. And helps me kind of not have to stress so much about looking at every single ingredient when I know like, okay, I know it's not going to have certain things in it. Let's see. So some of the items that I've been kind of thinking about incorporating into some of my next menus, I don't usually care for cream of anything soup. We try to do less sodium in this house, and a lot of those cream of something soups have a lot of sodium. A lot of canned things have a lot of sodium. And so I'm thinking I may work in some flour into the budget, because if I can work in flour and butter into one of the budgets, then I can make a whole host of things. I can make biscuits, biscuits and gravy. I can make tuna noodle casserole using homemade cream of mushroom soup. Or, I can home make the cream of chicken soup, and I'll just kind of tweak it because I won't have chicken broth on hand. But here's another thing. If I buy like a whole chicken, if I can find a good price on whole chicken, or even those leg quarters, if they have the bone, I can make the chicken, save the bone and the skin, make a chicken broth, which I can show you how to do. And then I can use that chicken broth with the flour and the butter to make the homemade cream of chicken soup, and there you go. And I can use that in a whole lot of different recipes. So that's another way that I'm thinking about fixing things up for the budget, and that may be because flour and butter, they tend to be, it's like $4 for a pound of butter, or $3. And then if you do flour, that's like $2.50, something like that, around $2 for 5 pounds. So I may be doing a 2 weeks on a $50 budget. And so that way I can show you kind of how because I don't normally only buy ingredients for just 1 week. I'll usually think 2 weeks in advance and then just kind of break up things. And as I go, it's over time, it's lasting me a long time, and I'm not having to spend a lot every week. It's just staying under budget every week and kind of filling in the gaps, So that's what I'm going to plan to do, I think, is I may do a 2 weeks on a $50 budget, include flour, butter, milk, and make a lot of the things from scratch and kind of show you like how I think on the fly. I'm not going to buy chicken stock or beef stock. I'm not going to buy a lot of canned things. I'm going to try to make this more like whole foods, making things from scratch and reduce the sodium, because I feel like a lot of times when you're on a budget, it's hard to resist buying like the instant stuff because it's so cheap. And that being said, though, I do want to work in some of the instant stuff too, because it's all about balance. So I was looking at they have some like chicken and rice with sauce packs that are like 9 ounces, and that would be great for a side dish or to incorporate into, let's say, stuffed bell peppers. So if I buy the chicken and rice and sauce for $1, I can make that up, not use any seasonings in my filling, maybe add some sausage or chicken, depending on what I end up buying, and use that rice and then add some veggies and then stuff bell peppers. Or I can dice the bell peppers and do like bell pepper casserole in a pot. So that's kind of where my brain is going with that stuff too. So soups, yeah, Linda, that's a great idea. Making soups, that's a huge budget stretching tip that I've learned, is soups tend to feed more people. You can, think outside the box a lot with soups and just make all kinds of different things, soups, chilies, stews, that sort of thing. And potatoes are really great too. They're super easy to stretch, and they add protein, and really, it helps fill you up. So I love that. I use potatoes in soups a ton. So let's see. I wanted to try to maybe incorporate an easy breakfast item too, like cereal. Aldi has cereals for like $2, so that might be in the 2 weeks on $50 budget, because it's important to incorporate things that are realistic. I feel like for people, for me, it's like I eat cereal. I don't eat eggs in the morning. Usually eggs are usually the grab and go option. For my husband, I'll make egg burritos, egg sandwiches. Like we had leftover brioche slider buns. And so for the kids and my husband, I made breakfast sandwiches just with eggs, cheese, and then the slider buns, because I had a lot of eggs, 99 cents at Aldi, and cheese I had left over from the time that I bought it was $1.83 for sliced cheese at Vons. So I had some in there. So that was easy. And I just made a bunch and then wrapped them in parchment and froze them. So my husband can just throw them in the microwave. And that's kind of a way that I stay on budget too, is we don't go to like Starbucks in the morning. We do Starbucks on the weekends sometimes, but it can be really expensive. So I'll make our egg sous vide at home. I'll make egg bites at home. Breakfast sandwiches, and I try to keep a lot of variety. Like I just made the overnight oats, and that can last up to 5 days, I believe, in the fridge, just depending on what ingredients that you use. So like 3 to 5 days in the fridge. So I can kind of bulk prep some of that, and then there's options for everybody. So yeah, I really want to play with bell peppers. They're a little more expensive, but I feel like they add a lot of flavor. So I want to play with bell peppers and rice. Since I'm shopping at Aldi, they have less options for rice. At Walmart, you can buy like bigger containers of rice. So I'm kind of seeing what I can do without running to a bunch of different stores. And somebody sent me a homemade tortilla recipe. I haven't made homemade tortillas, but if I can, buy the flour in my 2 weeks on $50 that I'm planning on doing, then I can make tortillas as well. And that opens up a whole lot of things, because I can make burritos, I can make tacos, like crunchy tacos, and I can fry up some chips, from homemade tortillas. All kinds of stuff I can do with that. So that's exciting. And I learned how to make a 2-hour no-knead bread recipe as well, that I love to incorporate into budget saving things. So with that, the yeast, I can get like 3 packets of yeast for 75 cents at Aldi. And so that's all I would need and sugar. So if I do sugar, I'll probably do brown sugar, because I can incorporate that into the budget a little bit easier, because a 5-pound bag of regular sugar is like $3 and brown sugar is like $1.50. So that's kind of how I'm going to play with it, because or maybe I'll just do honey, because if I'm doing honey for overnight oats, then I can do the honey in the bread instead of sugar. So all kinds of options. You can see my gears are turning. So that's kind of just how I think things through with the budget. So keep your eye out. I will have a couple of different menus for you. Some that are going to be 25, some 30, and then I want to do 2 weeks under 50. So make sure you keep your eye out. In the comments, if you could please give me some ideas with some of those ingredients I mentioned, and just some things that you might like to make, or some of your treat meals that are like super inexpensive but filling. If you can put those in the comments, like I made mac and cheese and you can add canned chicken or canned tuna. I might do like baked beans and hot dogs. So some of those easy like treat meals that are not necessarily like the healthiest, most balanced options, but they're filling, they're easy. If you have any ideas, put those in the comments, please. And if you have any other suggestions, let me know. Or what's your favorite inexpensive buy that helps you stretch your budget? I'd love to hear it. I'm always looking for more ideas. I cook so many different types of foods. I'm not afraid to eat anything. So I'm always looking for more ideas. And I try not to make the same dish twice, although I will share with you my favorite taquito recipe soon. It is already on my blog, so you can go get that if you like. And I just made that last night, and it's just so delicious. Super easy freezer meal. I love to eat it for lunch, and it uses so few ingredients. So anyway, I'm gonna let you go. We got to get over to our Mommy and Me class, and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will definitely talk to you soon. Thank you so much.